Yemen, sirens blaring in southern Israel. After Hezbollah, now the Houthis have entered the war, and the conflict is spreading. Air raid sirens rang out in Beersheba and surrounding towns as Israel detected a ballistic missile launch from Yemen. The military moved quickly to intercept the threat. This marks a critical moment, the first direct strike by the Houthis on Israel in this war. The Iran-backed group, long active in the region, had held its fire since the October ceasefire. But now, that restraint is over. And the warning came in advance. Houthi military spokesperson Yahya Sari declared their forces are ready for direct intervention. Quote, "If others join the war against Iran, we will act," unquote. A clear message to Washington and its allies. The Houthis have already shown their reach. Missiles, drones, long-range strikes across the Red Sea region. Now, that capability is being directed toward Israel. This comes as Iran's other allies are already active. Hezbollah launching attacks from Lebanon, militias in Iraq targeting U.S. bases. The so-called axis of resistance is no longer fragmented. It is now moving in coordination. And the risks are growing. The Red Sea, a vital global shipping route, could become a battlefield. Disruptions here would impact global trade and energy supplies. Israel has already responded to earlier Houthi attacks, with strikes inside Yemen. And the United States has also targeted Houthi positions. So what does this mean? A wider war, more fronts, more players, more unpredictability. Because now, this is no longer just a U.S.-Israel-Iran conflict. It is becoming a regional confrontation, where every new missile opens a new battlefield.
Yemeni armed forces will proceed to target its ships and naval vessels operating within the Red Sea. The armed forces are tracking and monitoring all movements in the region, including hostile ones against our country, and with God's help, they will take all necessary legitimate measures to defend our dear nation and its proud people in Iran, because he views it as the primary impediment to the realization of his scheme. Therefore, any American attack and aggression providing support to the Israeli enemy against Iran falls within the framework of that very same objective, which aims to empower the Israeli enemy to gain control over the entire region. This is something we cannot remain silent about, for it signifies the confiscation of our nation's freedom, independence, and dignity, its enslavement and humiliation, the distortion of its identity, the occupation of its homelands, the plundering of its wealth, and the establishment of the equation of violating blood, honor, land, and sacred sites. Therefore, this battle is truly the battle of the entire Muslim nation, and salvation for the Ummah, along with glory and ultimate victory, will be found in taking action, in engaging in jihad, in the path of Allah the Almighty, as He, exalted be His name, has said, and fight in the way of Allah, and know that Allah is all-hearing, all-knowing. And Allah, the Most High, says, "O you who have believed, if you support Allah, He will support you and make your feet firm. Allah, the Most Great, has spoken the truth." Consequently, should the United States become directly involved in any attack or act of aggression against Iran in conjunction with the Israeli enemy, then the Yemeni armed forces will proceed to target its ships and naval vessels operating within the Red Sea. The armed forces are tracking and monitoring all movements in the region, including hostile ones against our country, and with God's help, they will take all necessary legitimate measures to defend our dear nation and its proud people. Beloved Yemen, with its great people, its faithful leadership, and its valiant struggling army, will stand firmly alongside any Arab or Islamic nation that faces Zionist aggression or chooses to confront this aggression in defense of itself or in support and solidarity with the fighters of the Palestinian resistance. We will not abandon our brothers in the Gaza Strip, and we will
new front opens. Missiles fired from Yemen, sirens blaring in southern Israel. After Hezbollah, now the Houthis have entered the war, and the conflict is spreading.